Hey friends, it's Miss LeBlanc, and today we're going to write our second pollinator paragraph. Last time we wrote about bees, and today we're going to learn about some other pollinators that help us enjoy the plants, fruits, flowers, and vegetables that we so enjoy. Before we get back into our text, let's take a look at the different parts of our pollinator paragraph so we know what information to look for as we read. First, we'll have our focus statement. This will name our pollinator and make a connection for our reader to the process of pollination, which again is how fruits grow and survive, fruits, plants, and vegetables. Then we'll get into the body of our paragraph where we'll tell why the pollinator is attracted to flowers, the body parts that support pollination, and how the pollinator moves pollen from one plant to another. Finally, we'll end our paragraph with the conclusion, which will restate why our pollinator is important and just leave our reader with something special to think about today's pollinators. So, before we dive into the text, let's get our note-taking template set up. So, you can press pause and go get your paper and pencil. Okay, great. So now you're going to make your paper look just like my paper, and this is where we're going to collect our notes that will help us write our pollinator paragraph. First, make a chart, and the pollinators that we're going to be learning about today are butterflies and moths. So we're learning today about butterflies and moths, how they are part of the process of pollination, and we're going to write a paragraph about that. So let's make some space to capture our notes. Why attracted to flowers. And so again, since I'm just taking notes right now, I don't have to write incomplete sentences yet. We'll do that when we start our paragraph. But I'm going to want to take notes about why butterflies and moths are attracted to flowers, their body structures that support pollination. So in other words, what helps them be good pollinators. And then finally, how they move pollen from one flower to another flower of the same species. So this is what those are our thinking jobs as we read. Why are they attracted to flowers? What body structures help them with pollination? And how do they move pollen from one flower to the next? So let's take a look at our text. Remember, we're using text features, things like headings, butterflies and moths, things like captions, descriptions of pictures, things like labels and pictures to help us get a better understanding of our topic from this information text. So let's dive in and learn about butterflies and moths and how and why they are such great pollinators. Follow along. Butterflies and moths have long proboscises or mouth parts, which can reach the nectar and pollen inside flowers. Notice proboscises is in bold. That's an important science word that tells us that's a special word for mouth parts. Butterflies like bright pink, blue, and purple flowers. Some moths are good pollinators of flowers that bloom at night. They look for pale flowers with strong scents. And in this context, scents is another word for what? Yes, smells. Let's take a look at the caption. The hummingbird moth can pollinate flowers that are too thin and deep for other pollinators. Its long proboscis, which again is its mouth part, and notice the label and picture help us see what that looks like. Its long proboscis can reach the pollen deep inside them. So take a look at this moth using its special mouth part to reach the pollen deep inside the flower. We'll remember that when we take down our notes about this pollinator. Again, we see a label pointing to the proboscis of the butterfly. Let's zoom in and read the caption. This butterfly has landed on a pink flower. it is using its long proboscis to sip the nectar. Its legs are covered with pollen. Wow. So take a minute to just say or think to yourself, what is something that you have learned about butterflies and moths from this text? All right, so now go ahead, get your pencil and your note-taking paper, and let's go ahead and jot down our notes so that we can write our pollinator paragraph about butterflies and moths. So first of all, what did we learn about why these insects are attracted to flowers? Let's go back into the text and see what it says. Well, they use their mouth parts to reach nectar and pollen. So that tells me that one reason they go to the flowers is for nectar, remember that sweet juice of the flowers. For pollen, again, the powder deep inside of the flowers. But notice here, butterflies like bright pink, blue, and purple flowers. So this also tells me that they're attracted to colors, and moths pollinate flowers by looking for the scents, which again, scents means what? Yes, smells. So butterflies and moths are attracted to flowers for nectar and pollen, but also because of the bright colors and the good smells. All right, now we read a lot about a very special body structure that butterflies and moths have to help with pollination. And so I'm going to use the text to help me spell this. So I'm going to spell proboscises. P-R-O-B-O-S-C-I-S-E-S. And I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that I note for myself that that is mouth parts, because even though that is a special science word, it is vocabulary from the text, you also want to make sure when you are writing your paragraph that you really know what you're talking about when you use that science word. Also, what else can you tell from the text features that moths and butterflies have that help them pick up and move pollen? Yes, they have legs that the pollen gets stuck on, and then they have wings that allow them to travel from one flower to another. So we can also say legs and wings. And how they move pollen, again, the wings would help them fly from flower to flower. All right, friends, kiss your brains. We have taken some really strong notes, and now we're gonna put these notes into our pollinator paragraph. So again, let's look at the parts. We're gonna name our pollinator, tell why it's attracted to flowers, talk about its body parts that support the process, tell how it moves pollen, and then just remind our reader what we're talking about. So we're gonna aim for a total of how many sentences? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna try to get 5 sentences, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and start out. And remember our good writing rules. Say them to yourself. Great. Yes. And I want you to pick one of these great writing rules that you're really going to focus on as you write your paragraph today. Awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we want to do is name our pollinator and make a connection to the process of pollination. So what should we start out by saying? Yes, butterflies and moths are important pollinators that help plants grow and survive, ending with a period. The body of your paragraph is going to now tell why they're attracted to flowers, the body structures that help support pollination, and then how they move pollen by going from one flower to the next. Okay, so my challenge to you is to complete your pollinator paragraph on your own. Send me a picture, and the best pollinator paragraph from the whole second grade will get a special treat from Miss LeBlanc. So let's take a look at again the parts of your pollinator paragraph. We've done our great reading. We have our notes ready. Send me a picture of your completed pollinator paragraph for a super special treat. Okay, writers, keep those pencils moving.